The influence of computing is felt daily and experienced on a personal, societal, and global level. Computer science, the discipline that makes the use of computers possible, has driven innovation in every industry and field of study, from anthropology to zoology. Computer science is also powering approaches to many of the world's toughest challenges. Some examples include increasing automobile safety, distributing medical vaccines, and providing platforms for rural villagers to participate in larger economies, amongst others. As computing has become an integral part of our world, public demand for computer science education is high. Most parents want their child's school to offer computer science, and most Americans believe computer science is as important to learning as reading, writing, and mathematics. Many of today's students will be using computer science in their future careers, not only in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but also in non-STEM fields as well. Join me now as we highlight a few sites delivering computer science education around our great state of California. First up, we head over to Alisal Union School District and take a look at the Kinder Rockets of Barden Elementary School.
So when I was a kid, there wasn't necessarily a whole lot of computer science available, especially because the computers were just entering in schools and homes. Now, I mean, there's so many things that are automated, and so I really think it's important for everybody to know computer science, at least to be maybe exposed to some of the basics. And I don't think it's much about the computer science as it is about the critical thinking. And so computer science is really looked at, I think, as really something kind of more for maybe the elite or the nerds, for lack of the better words. Now it's obviously changed a lot, and kids have a lot better access to it, as you can kind of see from the B-bots. First of all, they're focusing on finding the geometric shapes. Why I love this activity is because the kids have a hard time kind of remembering the shape sometimes. But in this, they're engaged with a partner and they're really using the language. So they're really able to practice it in a more natural and authentic way. Also, they're having to work with some other math skills like sequencing and numbers. How many spaces does the B-bot have to move? Does it have to turn? How am I going to get from point A to point B? And the whole thing that there's more than one way to do it. So there's lots of critical thinking and problem solving also involved. And so this activity really hits a lot of the different standards from math to speaking and listening, and really support the kids' engagement.
Moving along, take a look at Design 39 campus out in Poway Unified School District.
We're here, everything we do is to prepare kids for the future. Just the future reality is very different from today's reality, and we have to kind of envision what that is and plan for all possibilities. So we try to teach coding and introduce it at the earliest levels, even kindergarten and on up. But we try to incorporate it throughout the year in lots of different projects. So whenever we have the opportunity to try some type of new technology, we really want to get it into the kids' hand. Moving really beyond that 2D coding in the computer, they really need to be able to use it and try it and see what happens with codes in the 3D world too. One of the problems we have that many schools have is our girls, getting our girls interested in coding. So there's a lot of opportunities out there now that girls are a little more interested when they see what coding can do for them. And also introducing to the kids the future. We talk a lot about the future and the skills needed, and every job almost involves computers. Being able to use those and manipulate those is going to be important.
Next up, we have a 6th grade class at Jackson Elementary in Sanger Unified School District.
So what did you think about learning computer science today?
It was really fun and challenging.
What made it challenging?
Like putting the things in order, like the characters from the sound and the movement to go forward, backwards.
And how did you feel once you figured that out?
Relieved because during the process it was very challenging and it got frustrating if it didn't get correct and in the right order.
But you persevered through that.
The reason that we want to include computer science into our education for all students is because it promotes empathy as students are designing apps and computational artifacts. It also is great because they start thinking about ethical issues when we're thinking about the impacts of new computing softwares and devices. And it is a great way for kids to start to learn computational thinking, conditional statements, if-then, all sorts of things that get them thinking in a way that will support all of our other core content areas.
Here in the Central Valley, which is primarily ag-based, we've been doing a great job of integrating computer science into NGSS and ELA and math. Talent is everywhere, opportunity is not. So it's up to the teachers to integrate computer science so students have that opportunity to learn.
In this setting, what we saw was an integrated lesson where students were using computer science to learn about an English language arts concept. So I would encourage our districts, our county offices, our schools to look at the best way that you can integrate computer science for you, not merely as an after-school program, but as something that every single student in your organization has access to.
To wrap things up, let's go to Lathrop High School in the Manteca Unified School District.
Computer science is important because obviously technology and computers run everything we do. I've got 3D printers, lasers that are all computer run. So even somebody who works in an automotive technology shop is going to have some knowledge of how to integrate with computers. Computer science is not just writing code, but it's how do I design an object in the computer and then get that object out of the computer into the real world like we do with our guitar bodies or some of the models that we print. We do some programming in Unreal Engine, and it has a really wonderful blueprint interface, so I can take a student who's never programmed before and I can teach them programming concepts in a really non-threatening environment of connecting nodes that represent C++ lines of code, 1 or 10, and I can connect those nodes together. So the video game design is a fantastic way to integrate everything. We're making a product that's fun. It has art, reading, math, science. Every subject can be rolled into a video game. I think a lot of the interfaces that friends of mine tell me about that run the PLCs on the farms, they're node-based, just like the Unreal that we use. And programming interfaces have become more human-centered. So having some knowledge of computers and technology is going to be the only way that you're going to be able to have a viable career in the future.
Computer science is very important for our students. I think that it should be on par with how we're treating ELA and mathematics right now. Right now, we're still kind of stuck in algorithmic and rote responses with education. And the kids that we're teaching now are digital natives. They have grown up with smartphones in their hands, basically a portal into an internet that gives them copious amounts of knowledge and information. And so I think becoming more of a guide or steward to help show the students like how to use these powerful tools to help them be better in life and better citizens, better digital citizens, I think is where we're supposed to go. And we could be even getting into VR and augmented classrooms where kids could be sitting on top of a mountaintop, learning about pressure. As you go up higher, air could get thinner and things like that.
Moving forward, computer science is driving job growth and innovation throughout our economy and society. Computing occupations are the #1 source of all new wages in the US and make up over 67% of the jobs in the STEM industry. Because computing is used all around us and in virtually every field, It's foundational knowledge that all students need and should be considered a critical literacy for all students. As Steve Jobs once said, computer science is a liberal art. It's something that everybody should be exposed to and everyone should have a mastery of to some extent.